Welcome back. My name is Patrick Massey, and this is episode 2 of my lecture on breast cancer and high-dose vitamin C. In this lecture, we're going to be concentrating on a specific subgroup of tumor cells called cancer stem cells. These are the cells that are involved in metastasis as well as developing resistance to chemotherapy and radiation therapy, and it is critical that these cells be targeted for long-term survival. Cancer, you might be surprised to know that solid tumors are not homogeneous. There are many similar cells, similar cancer cells within each cancer cell mass. One of these cancer cells are called cancer stem cells, and they are a subpopulation of cells within tumors. They are involved in self-renewal, differentiation, and developing tumorigenicity. They are primarily the cause of metastasis and recurrence, and they also very rapidly will develop resistance to chemotherapy and radiation therapy. It is these cancer stem cells that are the main cause for which people die from cancer. There are a network of signaling pathways within the tumor that controls the release of these cancer stem cells, and when these signaling pathways are interrupted, cancer stem cells will readily leave and metastasize. It's an important target, especially for long-term survival and cure. If you want to read a paper on cancer stem cells, this one from the Frontiers of Immunology in 2020, Cancer stem cells, origins and biomarkers, perspectives for targeted personalized therapies, and then below is the web page. You can go directly there and download the paper if you are interested. The traditional approach to cancer is kill as many cells as possible. That's really what we focus on, and we do it through three different ways. We do it through surgery, and if you catch the tumor early enough, surgery can be curative in early cancer. Chemotherapy is involved with the idea that it will help to kill those cells that maybe have been missed with surgery, or if surgery is even possible. And then radiation therapy to really hit cells that may be in a difficult location for the chemotherapy to reach. The problem is that in traditional medicine we have nothing to address cancer stem cells. It's something that we kind of ignore, and we hope that the surgery and the chemotherapy and radiation therapy and now even the biologics will have a profound effect on survival for cancer stem cells. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. In addition, some of the things that we do in traditional medicine, the surgery, the chemotherapy, and the radiation therapy, may actually stimulate the migration of cancer stem cells out of the tumor. So we need to be aware of that. We need to perhaps find ways of addressing cancer stem cells directly. And these are the cells, like I said, that metastasize and develop the resistance to chemotherapy and radiation therapy. There is a number of inflammatory pathways that are found within our body, and they're found within breast cancer also. And one of them that's very important is called the NF-kappa B pathway. When it is altered or mutated, it can be permanently activated and overexpress inflammation, and this overexpression of inflammation further goes on to interact with estrogen receptors and HER2 receptors and other receptors that are involved in the growth of tumor cells. It also can actively, if this inflammation pathway is overexpressed, it can actually suppress white blood cells that may be going after the tumor, and this kind of overactivation of this particular inflammatory pathway promotes the growth and survival of the tumor, primarily through the metastasis of the cancer stem cells. The NF-kappa B inflammatory pathway expression is greatly inhibited by high-dose vitamin C. So it's like we can turn it off almost at the source. So that means that we can do better. We can, if we're looking for cancer stem cells, and we need to do better, and we must do better. We simply must do better. So cancer stem cells, one of the triggers for release of cancer stem cells is hypoxia, which means that there's not enough oxygen. This can happen when cells have been treated with chemotherapy, when a lot of cells die, or treated with radiation therapy, a lot of cells die. Hypoxia is a result, and these inflammatory pathways, especially the NF-kappa B pathway, become very active in these hypoxic conditions and stimulate the migration of cancer stem cells out of the tumor out to the rest of the body. High-dose vitamin C affects these hypoxia pathways. It tends to reduce the activity of these inflammatory pathways. And it reduces NF-kappa B activity tremendously. It also upregulates other cellular factors leading to cancer cell death, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, and ultimately reduces the number of cancer stem cells that survive. There are other compounds that have similar activities. One of them is a compound called parthenolide, which is now being looked at in traditional medicine as a possible treatment for cancer stem cells. It's found in an herb called feverfew. Curcumin, the dietary spice, also has activity against cancer stem cells, as well as EGCG, or epigallocatechin gallate, which is found in green tea. It does not mean that these compounds should be used in lieu of chemotherapy or radiation therapy when appropriate, but it means that using it together with it may get a better benefit. The NF-kappa B pathway in general is very well regulated. It is absolutely necessary for our healthy response to an injury and infection with an inflammatory response. And it also induces pro-inflammatory genes, which help to regulate it even more. And it also regulates a well-regulated NF-kappa B pathway helps immune cells function the way that they're supposed to be functioning, because immune cells are involved in the inflammatory response. When it's deregulated, then what will happen is that it strongly contributes to the pathogenic process of numerous inflammatory diseases, including autoimmune disease, including type 2 diabetes, including heart disease, including probably Alzheimer's, as well as the initiation and progression of cancer itself. The NF-kappa B pathway is a critical pathway. The impact of high-dose vitamin C is that it reduces the NF-kappa B expression and reduces cancer stem cell activity. That's what we're looking for in cancer. It also reduces epigenetic changes to DNA. These are changes to the DNA genes themselves that will affect the expression of specific genes. So if there are genes that are being changed to some degree and expressed that are cancerous, vitamin C can help to reverse this. It also causes a rejuvenation of certain T cell populations, leading to greater anti-cancer activity. It increases tumor infiltration by tumor-killing T cells. So the immune cells themselves actually will go inside of a tumor and start killing the tumor cells specifically. It also has a directly toxic effect via pro-oxidant activity, and I started to discuss some of that in episode 1 through the production of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is inactivated in normal cells by an enzyme called catalase. However, tumor cells don't have any catalase, so hydrogen peroxide for tumor cells is actually quite toxic. And the best results seem to be when there is a competent immune system, especially with two types of T cells called CD4 and CD8. And combined with traditional therapy, it actually may enhance the effect of chemotherapy and radiation therapy, and we'll see that in episode 3, as well as with the biologics that are now being used in many aspects of cancer. High-dose vitamin C seems to enhance the effect of the biologic agents. And high-dose vitamin C is associated with long-term remission, much longer than what would be expected. However, cancer stem cells need support. They can't do it all by themselves. They need support from skin cells called fibroblasts, and with these fibroblasts, there needs to be a change in the actual shape and form and activity of the fibroblast from being an epithelial fibroblast to a mesangial fibroblast, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And we also need, cancer stem cells also need these epigenetic modifications of the DNA, which will promote the growth and expansion of the tumor. Let's look at the conversion of epithelial cells to mesangial cells. Epithelial cells are like our skin cells, and they line up and they're very solid and they form walls. And when when a tumor very early on will often be surrounded by these kind of epithelial cells, kind of holding the tumor in and not allowing it to escape. And the tumor cells themselves will have an epithelial type structure, which is somewhat rigid and does not promote metastasis. However, under certain circumstances, as the tumor grows and as the NF-kappa B pathway becomes more active, these epithelial cells will be transformed into mesangial cells. And these mesangial cells are quite fluid, and they move very easily, and these are the cells that will migrate and cause the metastasis. So high-dose vitamin C, the idea of using high-dose vitamin C is to limit and regulate the epigenetic changes to the DNA. That is very, very, very important. It also increases collagen production by fibroblasts. One of the main functions of vitamin C in our body is to catalyze the production of collagen, which is a critical support tissue. More collagen makes it difficult for the cancer stem cells to migrate. It makes stronger walls, almost like the Great Wall of China is blocking the Mongols from coming into China, and the stronger you build that wall, the more difficult it is for the Mongols to invade China. It regulates the epithelial to mesangial transformation. It tends to reduce the conversion of epithelial type cells into mesangial type cells, and this again is important for metastasis. And yeah, there you go. So in the next episode, we're going to be talking about the medical research that is involved in the use of high-dose vitamin C. A number of years ago, the medical research was very limited, and there was a great deal of speculation. But over the past 5 to 7 years, there has been a real increase in the amount of medical research found in the traditional medical literature supporting the use of high-dose vitamin C for cancer. So the next one is breast cancer and high-dose vitamin C. Episode 3 will be at youtube.com/altmed1544, and the title of it really is the science behind the claims, because claims don't mean anything unless there's something so supporting it, and the science has become pretty good at supporting its use. So for more topics on traditional and non-traditional medicine, please feel free to follow me on YouTube, or you can sign up for my newsletter. There's a QR code on the right. Will take you right to the site, or you can go to my website at alt-med.org. You can sign up there, or if you have specific questions about this lecture, not really long questions, but specific questions, feel free to email me at am4011@juno.com. And I thank you and look forward to seeing you at my next lecture. Thank you.